If you're watching this video, there's a high chance that you're using Scrum, maybe Kanban. They are their pros, they are their cons. But what if you could get the best out of both worlds? What if you could get all the pros without the cons? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what Scrumban is, the best of both worlds, how to use it, know if you should be using it right now with your team, and a full guide on how to implement it with your team starting today. Let's start with a why. Why use Scrumban? First, way easier to adopt, less constrained in terms of processes compared to Scrum. No product owner, no Scrum master, no daily Scrum meeting. Way easier to adopt than Scrum. Pretty close to Kanban in terms of the easy adoption. Another reason is that it's great for product development. Fast, 2 weeks iterations makes it really easy to quickly test out new ideas, experiment with new ideas, features, services, products without losing much time. Another reason is the focus on throughput and continuous improvement. We want to deliver fast. We want to be fast to market, to get feedback from customers early so that we can adapt the product, the feature, the service to meet the customer's need while still maximizing value. Most important thing here, fast to market while still maximizing value. And continuous improvement is extremely important also. And with 2 weeks iterations and this mindset of continuous improvement, you're always guaranteed to be evolving and improving the team individually, as a team, and also the product. Why tell you how Scrumban works when I can show you? Let's go through a real life example. Say that your team is developing, you're part of a team, developing an application. It's pretty straightforward application, a web application or a mobile application. You choose, doesn't really matter. The application, basically, you configure it. The only thing you need to do is enter an email address. That's it, you enter an email address. And every morning, you'll get a summary of what happened in terms of Agile related stuff for yesterday. So you get a summary every morning, maybe 9, maybe 8, maybe you can configure that also in the application. But the main premise of the application is to send you a summary of the best articles, the best videos, the best conversations on the net around Agile, Scrum, Kanban, Safe. Pretty good if you're a Scrum Master, because you'll keep updated with this industry with only the best in terms of articles, in terms of videos and conversations. The very first thing the team needs to do is to list down all the items required to create this application. Then take all the items and break them down into tasks and put all these tasks into a Scrumban board, into the to-do column of a Scrumban board. Next is planning. You need to plan your iterations. An iteration is 2 weeks, and the team needs to complete a list of items within this period of 2 weeks. Iterations are really similar to what you see in Scrum, the sprint that you see in Scrums. You need to prioritize this list also based on the information that you currently have. You don't know what the customer wants, but you can guess what the customer wants. So try to prioritize this list of tasks, this list of items in order of value to the customer. What brings the most value to the customer? Once the most important part of the planning is obtained, the commitment from the team on what they believe they can get done in this iteration, in the next iteration. Now it's time to start the iteration. Pretty straightforward. The team, each team member starts picking something that they see they are comfortable picking. And they move this item, this card, this task from the to-do column to the in-progress column of a Scrumban board. Obviously, they pick items in order of priority also. And once the item is completed, they move it from in progress to the done column, following over the requirements. Obviously, completed items needs to have some things that define what completion is. This the team can decide together. When a team member moves an item to done, The team member picks up another item, and it goes on until all the items on the board in the to-do column are moved to done, and the iteration is over. And what you do when the iteration is over, you start another iteration, and you keep going until the application is all good to be released. It's all good. Everything is done in the application that was agreed on. It's that simple. Very simple to understand and to adopt and to make it even easier for you. Let's go through some principles and guidelines that you can use, that you should use when using Scrumban. First, focus. Focus is the most important part of Scrumban. And in life, even in life, focus, extremely important. When you're working on a single task, you work on a single task. You don't do anything else. You ignore the rest. You shouldn't be picking up the phone, talking to people, going into meetings. Don't do that. Focus on this single task. And once this task is over, you move to the next task on the board. Or you can help someone else complete their task, but you're focusing on what the team has committed on doing. People procrastinate a lot. They spend a lot of time at work working on things that are not priority items. Don't know what they do at work, but most of us don't focus on a single thing, priority item, and move to the next. Life would be way better if we could do that, even in our personal life. Keep a Scrumban board simple. Don't clutter the board with tons of items, useless columns, workflows for the very first iterations that you do with a team. Please keep it simple. To do, in progress, and done column. Once you get used to the way of working together as a team and with this process with Kanban, you can then improve that. I see teams starting with 20 columns on the board. Maybe it's good for teams well versed in Scrumban, but for team just starting, in progress, to do column, in progress, and done. That's it. And again, I want to focus on the importance of avoiding to multitask. Focus on an item. Once done, move to the next item. Don't start multiple items together. One of the key things that the team needs to remember is not overestimate what they can get done in a period of 2 weeks. We tend to overestimate what we can get done today or in 2 weeks and underestimate what we can get done in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. But that's another debate. Here, you can get it wrong. It's a guess. We are predicting what we can get done in 2 weeks as a team. It will improve the more you get used to working together with a product, with an application, with the tools. You'll get better at predicting. But don't, at the very first iteration, don't super overestimate what you can get done. And once you have this item, you have a list of things in priority that you said the team has committed on, you need to define a work in progress. We already know the work in progress for any individual member. Single task, you complete it, you move on to the next. You should avoid multitasking, but it's not always possible. Maybe a team member is working on a particular task and gets blocked because someone else needs to do something. And the team member can't escalate it. We already escalated it. We can't do anything about that. The third-party provider or the other person needs to do something, and we have to wait. The team member has to wait. The team member shouldn't remain idle. The team member in this scenario, typically we do pick up a new task and we start working on that. Obviously a high priority task, but we pick up a new task. But what if each team member, let's say you have a team of 5, do that? It's madness. That's why a work in progress limit for the team, also extremely important. If you had a work in progress limit of 5 team members, 5 work in progress limit, the team member wouldn't be able to pick up a new task because it would increase and break that limit of work in progress. And instead, the team member would help another team member or multiple team members to get their task done faster. That's why work in progress limits, extremely important. Remember the goal, get things done faster. We should stop starting and start completing. Start getting things done. Another key thing is planning. Planning when using Scrumban should be done continuously, regularly, but only when triggered. And there's a thing that triggers planning. Planning, there's a threshold that you need to place on the to-do column. depends on the team. You can guess with the first few iterations, and that you'll get better at guessing how much this threshold should be. And it's a threshold in terms of how many items in the to-do list columns. Maybe you start with hundreds of items. Then once the threshold is maybe 50 items, you say, okay, maybe it's time to do a planning. Maybe it's time to do another planning session so that we can build up this to-do list so that we don't run out of things to do. Really depends also on the throughput of a team, how fast the team gets things done. The faster the team gets things done, the more planning will be triggered, and that's completely normal. And planning sessions should also don't take days to do. Should be fast, should be quick, should be focused on priority items and getting the team to understand exactly what needs to be done for each items. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.